Hello and welcome to the Work for Change podcast. My name is John, and as you guys all know, it's spelled like Gene. It is. It really,
like the jeans that
really,
denim.
truly like denim. Yep. My name is John, spelled like denim.
And my name is John
with silent H.
With the silent H, yeah. With the silent H.
And you actually brought a guest today.
Yeah, I did. Good point. If you're watching this on YouTube and you see this thing that is on my neck, this red, terrible, terrible thing, I just want to say, it's not a hickey. It is, I don't know, it was either ingrown hair or some sort of bug bite, and I went way too hard in it like 2 nights ago and really tried to get rid of it. By that, I mean squeeze the living daylights out of it. Ugh. And that was a bad idea. Yeah, it was a bad idea. So it's, that's our special guest for today, and I told him he's not allowed to talk.
Yes.
He's really rude,
yeah.
So he's not going to be saying anything. But his name's Charles.
Yeah, he is quite offensive.
Yeah, he's not. We don't have the explicit rating, so he can't talk.
Yeah. Okay, so jumping into this, about 1 hour ago from the time of this recording, which would be yesterday if you're listening to this the first day we went up. If you're listening to this in like a year, then
wow.
I mean,
hi.
First of all, hello for doing your homework.
Yeah.
Do we have flying cars yet?
Yeah, bringing back the flying cars from last week.
Yeah,
all right, there
exactly.
we go. Continuation.
Okay. So about an hour ago, the CrossFit Games just dropped the new rulebook for the 2019 season. Now, this is a big deal because they made a lot of changes that I don't think they were aware of. One person in the company, Greg Glassman, was like, I'm over this.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up. And then CrossFit spent about a year, well,
no,
6 months.
6 months.
Trying to recover from that.
Well, yeah, it was crazy because all these announcements and then people had all these questions and there was no answers to the questions.
And straight up, like, CrossFit turned off their commenting on Instagram.
Yeah. And people were scared. Like, it was, like, I can only imagine being an athlete. And we've been able to talk to some athletes, which is really cool. Like, what would be going through your head at that point? Because it's like the Super Bowl, being like, hey, this is going to be different now.
Yeah.
How? I don't know.
We don't know. And then, like, the preseason starts.
Yeah.
And they're not even the first game of the week. And they're like,
yeah, we don't know what the Super Bowl is going to be like yet.
Yeah.
There might be kangaroos running around. Who knows?
Who knows?
So they finally released the yearbook, the rule book, and I actually have not read any of it because I was editing a video and I was like, I need to finish this video. So John actually read it. So
I was engorging myself on a bowl of Chipotle. And
that was nice.
Yes, it was delicious, and I was reading the rule book and just basically taking notes. What they did was really cool is in the rule book, they like highlighted in red, like new.
That's nice.
New.
Yeah.
So then I was like kind of like scrolling through some stuff and then like reading a lot of it. So to start this podcast off, I know we have a lot of people who don't do CrossFit, and we're not going to bore you.
Yeah.
But we do want to talk about some major changes that are happening within our fitness
Yeah,
space.
I mean, we care about it, so we're going to talk about it because it's our podcast.
Exactly. Okay.
So are there like main things, like how do you get to the games?
So let's do that. Let's talk about that. The first way you get to the games is going to be from the CrossFit Open.
Okay.
So the CrossFit Open is still worldwide, obviously. But now you can qualify straight to the CrossFit Games if you were the fittest person in your country. That's a big change.
Just the one person can.
Top person, yeah. They are also going to allow for this year the top 20 people in the entire Open to go to the games.
Okay. I like that.
So rank 1 through 20 worldwide goes to the games. And then the national champion is what they're calling them. The national champion from each country that has at least one CrossFit box in good standing with HQ. That's like the phrase.
Interesting. Okay.
Will be able to go to the games.
So I don't know if you would know this answer, but so even if, like you said, there's one box. So technically, this could happen where there's some crazy country I don't even know, right? That only has one box. The best person at that box can make it to the CrossFit Games from the Open.
If they RX every workout.
Okay.
So if you scaled during the Open at all, you don't get a spot to the games.
Okay, yeah, I would hope so. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to RX. You must RX every single workout to qualify for the CrossFit Games. Now, there are people who have dual citizenships. So the question is, what happens to them? Before the Open, they choose what country they want to be a citizen of. And then as soon as the Open closes on that first week, after the first workout, Whatever country they declared is the country they're going to. So a lot of people criticize Lauren Fisher because she moved to Dubai.
Mhm.
People are like, she's just trying to become the fittest female in United Arab Emirates. Like, that's not fair. She doesn't have a citizenship to Dubai. So even though she's living in Dubai,
okay. So you have to be a citizen.
she has to be a citizen of that country.
Okay, that's good. I like
so
that.
that is good
I
because
like
now people can't just like move random and be like, oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
I just happen to be there. Lauren Fisher's lucky because she just made it anyway because her team won.
Oh yeah, she's going
But like for anyone else, who's
anybody
doing
else,
that,
yeah.
if they have
That was a big joke that everyone was making.
Yeah.
Like Jacob Hepner was saying.
Citizen
Citizen Genovia, which isn't a real place, but
yeah,
but still, like that was a lot of people were joking. Like, I'm gonna move to Madagascar or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
So that can't happen. So
So that can't
I
happen.
like
You
that.
have to be a citizen,
Okay.
and if you have dual citizenship, you have to choose yours, declare it before, and then you also have to have proof of citizenship.
Okay, so question. The first thing that comes to my mind, again, I don't know if you know the answer, but okay, say you do make it, but you have no business being at the games. Is it just you? So you're just at the games now?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, if you RX'd every workout and you're the fittest person in your country, yeah, you get to go to the games. However, the rumor is that Dave Castro and Greg Glassman are going to. The first day is going to be a huge elimination.
Yeah,
day.
that's what I've heard too.
So you have to decide, okay, I live in Zambonia or whatever, and it costs $3,000 one way to go to the games. Most likely I'm going to get eliminated in the first day. I have to find a hotel, I have to find food, I have to find all that, I have to pay for my coach, I have to whatever.
Oh, okay.
Is it worth me
that's
going?
a good point, because they're not going to pay you to go.
Yeah. Is it worth them
okay.
putting all that money to get disqualified on the first day of
Yeah.
the games? So then, like I said, the top 20 are going to make it. They will be backfilled if the person declines. So if number 19 is like, yeah, I can't.
I'm injured. Yeah,
Yeah.
or something.
So then number 21 will get it.
Okay, that's good.
Same thing if the top people,
In the nations.
if the person declines or if they're a national champion. So it'll get backfilled if 1, 7, 13, and 15 are individual champions of different countries. Then it'll be like
Okay.
21, 22, 23,
Okay,
24.
I get that. That makes sense.
It will not be backfilled if one of the top people also win a sanctioned event. So Matt Frazier won Dubai. So now it's a competition for the top 19.
Yeah.
He's already taken a spot out of the men's open field.
And doesn't he have to? You have to compete in the Open now too, right? Is that true?
No.
Oh,
I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
But what they said was, we'll get further into it, but basically they're going to reserve 4 spots for whoever Greg feels like inviting. At all. Anyone.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, I know.
So we love CrossFit.
Yeah. We'd really bring the attendance up.
Yeah, I have a really big following.
I almost have 10,000.
So if you really want to see someone struggle,
Yeah.
so they could do it. Like, I've always thought at the Olympics they should have the athletes
Exactly.
and then a normal person,
They
so you can see how fit they are. So
know.
that can be us.
That could be us.
It's just every
Yeah.
event. You can see us cry on the field. It'll be so
They'll literally
good.
be like, all right, event 1 is max snatch. Jean's going and fails 185.
there's a minimum that you have to do, and Sean can't even deadlift that. Sean seems to be doing snatch grip deadlifts. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we don't know what is going on. We do know that at one point Sean mentally broke down, ripped off all his clothes, and started running.
Around naked.
The pressure must have been too.
Somehow he got a razor. Now he's shaving his beard off. I don't understand.
Crying, just crying in the corner.
All he did was 10 pull-ups. I don't.
Now he's asking Catherine Davis' daughter for her number, but she just.
Ben Bergeron's come onto the field and tackle John.
There just seems to be an all-out brawl on the floor. Everyone against Sean.
and John seems to just be laughing at his brother.
John Davis vlogging.
Yeah, this is gonna be great content.
Okay, so that's called the at-large bid, and 4 people, whoever they decide they want to go, it's basically going to be like the best of a different sport. Like,
Oh,
you know,
okay, that'd be cool.
like, so, like, people are always like, whoa, CrossFitters are suck at calisthenics, you know? So they're like, all right, bring a calisthenics guy on, let him crush everyone, and see how he does on the competition floor. You know what I mean?
You should bring NFL like quarterbacks or something like that.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Or like, yeah, some other form of training, some other form. So that, but what they said was seeding at the games. So who's going to be in the first heat, second heat, third heat, fourth heat is going to be based on your position in the open. I always thought you had to do the open. That's what I understood. That's what was relayed to me. However, they said if you did not compete the open, you were automatically
in the last heat.
During the first event for seeding, like, or whatever. So,
I mean,
I think that might be though for those, you know, go hards or whatever, the at-large bid who like, they're like, just come in. You're gonna be in the last heat. No one wants to watch you anyway. You know what I mean?
Good luck.
Yeah. And so, but from the sound of it, it looks like you have to do the open.
I'm really interested to see who is chosen.
Yeah.
I'm really interested. I'm just.
I wonder if it's like the way Greg Glassman originally talked about it. It was like people who make fun of CrossFit.
Oh, okay.
Like that was how he originally brought it up. The way it's written in the rulebook doesn't come across that way because they're probably trying to be more like
yeah,
PC.
of course. I can almost guarantee the people that make fun of CrossFit, if they actually got invited, they would not do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't. I legit. I think if they invited me, I would be like, no, I'm good.
I would 100% do it. I got to get Catherine Davis' daughter's number. Come on. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hi, Sam.
Yeah. Sam is listening to this. I'm kidding.
100%.
Yes.
Can't wait to hear about that fight.
Yeah. Next week I'm going to be coming from my new home. No, I'm just kidding.
The doghouse.
Yeah. So then a couple other things, and then we'll end it off. Age. People were afraid about masters and kids.
Yeah,
because there was no rules. There was nothing about them. They're still doing the same exact thing. So they're going to be doing the open.
I figured that.
The top 200 are going to be allowed to do the age group online qualifier. And then they used to take the top 20. Now they're only taking the top 10.
Ooh.
So then, yeah, so it's going to be 10 people in the field of 16 to 17. 10 people in the field of 40
I think that makes
to 44. Sense. You know, 35 to 39.
Because, I mean,
that 35 to 39 will be an interesting.
That will be an interesting one because that was definitely like the most, I would say, like out of all of the age group, you know, teens and masters, that was the one that people were paying attention to the most.
And there's so many, like, not masters, but I guess technically they are. There are so many people who are retired but who are now in that age group, like Kalipa, like I don't know if Fouché is. I think she's not there yet, but she's definitely not there yet. What am I saying? But there's a lot of people who kind of aged out that are now doing more competitions, kind of getting back into the feel of it, so it's really cool. Okay. Now, really last part, sanctionals. There's 15 sanctioned events this year. First place male, first place female, first place team. We kind of already know this. If first place is already going, like, so if Matt Frazier were to compete at Wodapalooza and he were to win, it would go to the second place person at Wodapalooza.
Okay.
What can't happen is if Matt Frazier wins at Wodapalooza and Bjorkvin won Dubai, like, so I got second place at Dubai. If Matt Frazier was friends with him, he couldn't be like, well, I want my Wodapalooza spot. Now let the second place spot go to.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to go to the first one that you qualified at.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then a huge controversial /yay/ how's that going to work was there. Last year they announced that they were going to allow transgender to compete. Now, that one is like there's so much emotion involved. There's so much involved there. But essentially, if you are a female and you want to compete as a male, you just have to prove that on some form of, not prove, but like provide governmental paper that you identify as a male. California ID or whatever ID, whatever. Like, just prove it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, okay, as long as you identify as a female or a male as this long, like within a year or something, we can let you go.
Yeah.
It's much different if a male is identifying as a female.
Okay. Oh, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah, because if a male identified as a female and all they need to do is prove was an ID, they would crush the floor.
Yeah.
They would literally just dominate and destroy everyone. So they have to have like a year's record worth of them identifying. Identifying as a female. They have to have their testosterone checked. They have to have they have to submit a paper to CrossFit. Like it goes through a lot more. So a lot of people were worried, like, what the heck? Like,
Yeah.
all a guy needs to do is be like, no, I'm a girl, and then just absolutely crush the field. And they are doing to prevent that, that probably is what took them a really long time to like figure out, because no other sport is doing this. Like, CrossFit is like breaking boundaries with this like transgender.
Are they? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
like,
wouldn't be able to.
oh my goodness,
I
they're
don't
like
watch any sports.
Yeah, they're like breaking boundaries with that.
Yeah.
So it makes
like,
sense that it spent so much time trying to like figure that out.
Yeah, and my
thoughts
thoughts on that is like, I like what they're like the way that they're doing that, and honestly, like if you were to think about it, if you were somebody, a dude that was like, say like the worst case scenario, right? A dude that was like trying to just say he's a woman so he could crush everybody, like I think that like that actually happening is so low, because like people, like, could you imagine being that person? Like, you would just be hated by so many people, and like you would turn into that would be who you are to the whole CrossFit community.
Yeah.
And so like I doubt that worst case scenario that people were
someone
saying,
maliciously doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like doing it to almost make a joke out of it, right?
Yeah.
Like I know that I see where people are coming from with their like being scared that might happen, but like the actual reality of that actually happening is very small, I think. And so I mean, I think that it's good. I mean, we'll see. I honestly, I would doubt that even in the first year, this year, that anybody would.
Yeah.
I mean, but who knows? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. And I mean, more power to you if that's something that you want to do. I don't know. Like, I don't have much thoughts on that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
It's such a new frontier. You know, it really is. Like, just first of all, like CrossFit opening up the doors and being like, let's figure this out, and like kind of being trailblazers in that is huge. But also just how to navigate with that, because looking on like Twitter, looking on Instagram, where they said we posted the rule book, it was like immediately people went to the transgender rules.
Oh, really?
And that was immediately what they were like, what about this?
Mm-hmm.
What about this? And it's like, ugh. And like, it's annoying, because no matter what happens with change comes complaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like, without fail, as soon as CrossFit went, we're changing things, everyone's like, oh, great. There it goes. There goes the sport. There goes this. There goes, like, and there wasn't even a shot of maybe this is good for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this can work. It was immediately, this is bad. This is bad for the sport. How dare you guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, like, we care about it. So it makes sense that we'd, like, want the rule book to be released. But this, like, the longer it went, the more people just seemed to, like, complain and just, like what is that going to, all it would do is put people in bad moods. They'd be frustrated. They'd vent with each other. And then they'd complain some more. And then it would take even longer, and then they'd be in bad moods, and then they'd vent, and they'd frustrate. And then when the first, sanctioned event came out, no rule book, everyone's like, the world is going to end. That was like the reaction. How dare they not have a rule book yet? How dare they? When they were like, yeah, they put out enough information to let that event go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was enough information to know. People knew that the first place man, the first place female, and the first place team were going to go to the games. Like, that wasn't a question. That's all that mattered there. But people were like, wow, I can't believe they're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it. Wow. And then now that they've released it, it's like, well, it's about time.
Yeah, and then I'm sure people are
and
now
they're
complaining about what the rules are now. And it's funny that you say that, because like that's exactly what I wanted to talk about today. Like, that was kind of my main thing. I was talking about it on my video that I made, is complaining. And I think it's been on both of our minds because of the sermon that we listened to on Sunday at our church, and it was all about complaining. And
you also pretty much forced me to read Extreme Ownership.
Yeah, I did.
So, and by forced, I mean I saw you reading it and I got jealous.
Yeah.
So I went out and bought it.
He went out and bought it when I was like, you could have used my book. But he was like, no, I want to buy my own book.
I like to make notes.
You like to have a library. Let's be real.
I like to have a library.
Yeah, exactly.
I do.
So when talking about complaining, it's one of those things that it's so easy to do, and it feels good to do it, right? Like in the sermon, he was talking about how there was that study that it shows that in conversation, once a minute you complain. And I can, and it's, it could be like, oh, it's cold outside today. And that's how you start the conversation. Oh, I'm so cold. That's you complaining, right? And in reality, if you're just complaining, like there's nothing is changing at all. Nothing changes except for you're complaining about something. And so like that's been on my mind a lot because recently, if you guys have been following me on social media, I have been having issues with influencers, right? And influencers that are kind of abusing their power, in my opinion, okay, abusing their power. And
I just want to let you know that I've apologized multiple times, and the fact that you keep on making videos about it. I just wish that you would just allow that apology.
They offered me $1,000 to promote the Fit Tea. And yes, I had diarrhea for 4 days, but still, it was worth the money. But yeah, so like I've been kind of going on this. I don't even know what's even the word. Like this, like
crusade
against like influencers that are using their power in. For me, I perceive it as a negative way, right? Everybody's different, but in my own opinion, negative way, right? And so for me, kind of a backstory, for me, I am very respectful and I appreciate the platform that I have. And I understand that it was built on, me losing weight and me being the person that was overweight and lost weight. And so I understand that people that are following me a lot of people are overweight and they're trying to lose weight. So they trust what I say. And I also have other weight loss, I call them weight loss influencers, right? People that have lost weight, that's how they gained a following. Other weight loss influencers that have the same kind of following, probably a lot of the same followers, that know that they have a lot of power over people and their suggestions of products to try will be powerful, right? People will listen and they use that in a way that I don't think is moral for me, right? And so I've recently been, posting, and this is about like Fit Teas and wraps that you put around your body, and I
caloric deficit.
Yeah, being in a caloric deficit.
Those
but so I've
ones.
been talking about this stuff, and then I had this another thing about diet, which we can get into if you want. But with like the Fit Wraps and the Fit Teas or whatever, I personally don't like that people promote that because I understand that people are very vulnerable and they're going to trust you, especially if you're someone that's lost weight. But I've been making posts and kind of basically like complaining about it, but it's like I'm struggling personally with like, is it me just complaining, right? Or I'm seeing something that I think is wrong personally, right? Who knows if it's, everybody's different, but I think is wrong. And so I want to stand up for people. Like that's what in my head, it's like I'm standing up for people. But then when I heard the message, it was like, well, I am just kind of complaining at the same time. So like it's this like dilemma that I have in my mind that I'm trying to kind of figure out. Mm-hmm. But like the way I think of it is like, instead of trying to, fight that with being hateful as well by trying to call people out, I think that what I want to do from now on is just focus on myself and what I'm doing and be positive in my own area, and hopefully that can drown that out, right? Because like Martin Luther King says, Luther King Jr., he's like, darkness can't drive out darkness, only light can do that. And so like I just want, instead of trying to be negative, because I realized through being that way and being negative and I was like throwing shade at people, making posts about about specific people, but just making kind of posts throwing shade at people, right? My followers were doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. But then they were being a little bit more malicious, and I didn't like that at all. Cause like I was triggering that in other people. Yeah. And that's what happens when you complain, right? And like when you're like that, you trigger that in other people and they want to join in. And I was like, I don't like that. And so like I think I've realized that I kind of want to stay away from that. But at the same time, it's like I struggle because I still want to make sure that I'm protecting people. And if I have a voice, I want to use that voice. So I don't know. Like, do you have any thoughts on that? Because like that's like it's like this like I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just kind of sounds like it's hard. Like defining a complaint. Like it's the idea of, are you talking horizontally or are you talking like vertically? Like when it comes to spreading gossip. Like if you're talking to your best friend about someone else, like. And your friend can't do anything to change them. Your friend can't do anything to change the situation. Like, nothing will change from that conversation. Well, that's gossip. You're just talking bad about someone behind their back. That's all you're doing. Now, if you're talking to your boss about a coworker who's not doing anything, that's not gossip. Yeah. You're, like, trying to change the situation, like, assuming that your motive is right. Another thing is, like, your motive is to help people. So I think the way to go about it, that's the age-old question. But, like, your motive is to help people. And I think that's where it's, like, the line between complaining and, like, hey, beware. Beware of this. Like, this is out there. Don't just, like, blindly follow everyone. Question everyone. Even question you. Even question me. Like, question us. Like, what we're saying, it's not total truth. Like, we're flawed people and we mess up, and sometimes we don't have the right information, and sometimes people are hurting for money, and this is a good way for them to get money, and they're thinking, I want to pay for my kids' food, not I want, you know what I mean?
To
like,
scam people.
Exactly.
Or to, like, you know, take people monies away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I
That's a
think
good point.
what I think is, like, just as consumers and as consuming content and consuming product and giving away money, like, question everything. It doesn't mean you don't have to believe everything, but once you come to believe, like, people believe your message. And because they've questioned you, because there were times where you were like, hey, I'm sorry, and you were honest and you were upfront, now people are like, no, I believe him and I trust him. And that's the only way, like, real trust and real relationships can get built is when you question them. And questioning doesn't mean that you think they're a liar. It just means that you want to know the truth for yourself, and you are going to go through with that. So I think it's just a matter of, like, if your heart and your intention was to rip people, yeah, I might be complaining. But if it is like, hey, just be careful. However, if you focus on negative, if you focus on complaining, if you focus on what other people are doing, if you focus on that you don't like this and you don't like that and you don't like that and you wish they would change that and you don't like that they do that, then that's where your brain's going to go. And you're going to continue on that cycle. If you think, my goal is to do this, I'm going to empower to do this, I'm going to empower people to go this way, like, then that's where your brain focuses. And that's just a much better place, you know? Like, it's a better place to be.
I totally agree with that 100%. And, like, I just want to make sure that I'm not... Like you said, like, I want to be doing it out of a place that I think is, like, a good place. Like, I'm saying this because I want to warn people.
Yeah.
Not because I want to look good and, like, try and make people look bad. Right.
Yeah.
I want to, the word is, like, virtue signaling, right, for myself. Like, oh, look how good of a person I am. Like, I'm not trying, like, I want to make sure, and who knows, like, I don't know 100% if maybe that's what was going through my head, but I don't want that to be what it is. Like, I don't want it to be, look at me, I'm a very good person. I'm a very good person.
I good person.
I good person. Please
I good
listen.
person. They're bad.
They bad. I good. You listen to me. Give me money. But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like I'm a good person. They're a bad person. Look how good I am. Wow, I'm amazing. I don't want it to be like that, and so that's where I get worried because I definitely don't want that. But like you said, it's so true when you start to focus on that because I noticed, and that's a big reason why I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm done with calling people out because I was literally like almost searching on like Instagram stories and stuff like that, waiting and looking for people to start promoting stuff that I didn't agree with. Because then I was like, oh, maybe I could say something about this. Maybe I could say something about that. And I was like, no, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what I want to be doing. This is not what I don't think is going to be, helpful for me to grow, but to be able to help other people out. Like, so that's why I was just like, I need to take a step back and kind of evaluate why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And evaluate, where my heart is in trying to, call people out, for lack of a better term. But another thing that I kind of, went through was I talked about Diet Bet, and this one is different to me because I don't think that there's nothing. I believe in the product. As far as like it can help people, I don't think it's not on the same level as like a skinny tea or something like that literally is useless, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with what Diet Bet is, I'm not sure even if you are, but it's basically it's a bet that you put in. So a prominent person, an influencer, somebody that has a lot of followers, usually will do it. I mean, anybody can host a diet bet, but most of the time it's somebody with a lot of followers will host a diet bet. And the way that it works is you put in like $30 to $40 to start. To join the game basically, and then you're saying that I'm going to lose 4% of my body weight in a month, and if you do that, everyone's money goes into the pot, right? And then you get money back. So a lot of times you'll make like $25 for doing it, so you end up getting like $45-50 maybe back. So
for putting in $20.
Yes, no, like 30. So you make about sometimes half as much as you put in, right? Well. You know what I mean? You get your money back plus $15 or $20. So, I mean, there's definitely people that use it, that lose weight during it and actually can make some money on it. That's great. the reason that I don't even want to say issues, but the reason that I stopped, and this is like something that I struggle with because I did them.
Yeah.
Like I hosted a few of them. And then the more that I really thought about it, because the first one I did, I didn't even really know that much about it. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. That sounds like a great, you know what I mean? It was before it was really a big thing that a lot of people were doing.
Mm-hmm.
This was years and years ago. So I was like, that sounds great. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. And then I think the second one, the first one, nobody really knew what it was. And then the second one was the first time I got a comment of saying like, so basically you guys are making money off of people failing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, ooh.
So to be like totally candid,
Mm-hmm.
your payouts.
Yeah, so that's what I want to get into.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're a host, and this is information that anybody can find, because again, anybody can be a host of a diet bet. At least when I was doing them, you could.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Maybe they changed it, but at least when I was doing it, anybody could become a host if you wanted to. And the way that it worked was the first time you hosted was you got 10% of the whole pot. Of the whole pot, you got 10% of it, right? And some of these pots get huge,
Mm-hmm.
and I've made not an insane amount of money, but a good amount of money doing them.
Especially when you were like a new influencer.
Yeah, I mean when I was when I was working at Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
Like a good amount for that. And so I was like, wow, this is awesome. But then at the same time, I was like, it's weird because the amount of money versus like how much work you're actually putting in just didn't really add up to me. But again, that's here or there, right? Everybody's different with that. But so you make 10% of the overall pot. But then the more that you do it, the more you can actually make. So you can make like 15, 20% of the overall pot. And again, these pots can be huge. $200, $300, $400, $500,000. So you're making $20,000, you know, doing a diet bet.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to start a diet bet.
So after
join
this
the Work for
podcast,
Change diet
there's
bet,
a
guys.
link.
But so
Don't worry,
again,
none of the money will go to John David.
but again, like, there's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with that. And so the only thing that I was saying was like, just be aware that the people that host these diet bets, they make money off of it. So just that's all I was saying. That's all but a bunch of people not a bunch of people. A lot of people were actually didn't know that, and which again was surprising to me because it's on the website. Like if you say I want to host a diet bet, it'll tell you all the stuff that you know what I mean. So anybody can search that. It's just I don't think people do, right? So
I think it's using your platform. People are going to trust you.
Yeah,
people are going to trust you. And so if you conveniently don't talk about that, they won't know.
Yeah. And so again, it's like I'm not trying to sit right after we talk about complaining. I'm not trying to sit here and complain, but that's just kind of what I went through, and I talked about it. A couple influencers got kind of upset with me, but again, like I was saying, I didn't say I think it's wrong. Again, I think diet bet has been helpful for a lot of people, and I don't think it's a bad thing. But all I was doing was just trying to explain people what the back end is like, and people make money off of doing them. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think that it should be out there. And so I don't know, like
I think that it is. Obviously, they're never going to word it. You make more money, the more people fail. Obviously, they're not going to word that because that just doesn't sound good. There is some truth to, I put money into this, so now I'm committed, right? Like, if someone gives you a membership for free somewhere, you're not like, okay, well, you'll go to another gym or you'll go to another this because you have this free membership that you can kind of just come and go as you please. However, if you're paying $100 a month or whatever, like joining another gym is not nearly as easy. Enticing.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't know, I've got money invested here already. Like, I don't have just a whole bunch of money to give away to different things. So I understand giving money to it because there is something about value to money, like what you find important to how much you're willing to pay for it. That's literally supply and demand and economics, right? And that's just how we are wired. If you donate to World Vision or if you donate to Save the Whales, you're going to care a lot more about the whales because you're going to be like, well, I'm donating to this organization. Like, what's happening? What's going on?
Same when you like tithe at church.
Tithe, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Exactly. The same thing. I mean, if you want to go biblical, where your money is, there your heart will be also. Like you can't serve God and money.
Yeah.
Like there is something about money in particular beyond anything else. So I understand that, and I understand why money would be a enticement to want to
Is
lose
enticement
weight.
a real word?
Entice you? Enticement? I think so. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Shit is now.
We're going with it.
Yeah. But so I understand the positive. Like, you can focus on the positive. It's the fact that people are giving money and they're saying, I'm committed to this.
Mhm.
I want to get better. And then they get like $15 back.
Yeah.
Sick. The negative is like a lot of people are putting the money down because they're like, oh, yeah, cool. You know,
Yeah.
whatever. And then they're not losing the weight because maybe it was like, I'm doing a diet bet. And then there was like no follow up.
Yeah.
No, like, hey, if you're on my diet bet, like, here's 3 exercises you can do today. If you're on my diet bet, here's a low carb meal or something. Whatever. I'm just making
And
things up.
that's actually a really good point. So that's one of the things that I
Like, try to make it so that every single person like passes.
yeah,
We
like they
do
don't.
everything
There's
you
no
can.
excuse, right?
There's no
for the-
excuse.
right? And that's a really good point because, and I'm gonna be completely honest. When I did them, I was not a good host.
Yeah.
I just wasn't. And so I think that's what made me like I feel good about this, you know?
Yeah.
And again, that was a while ago, but I made a video where I talked about this and I was like, that was a mistake. That was a mistake for me. And that's why I think I'll never do another one because I know I don't have the amount I know I
Diet
don't
bet
have
or
the,
a rant video?
diet bet.
Okay.
I'll never do another diet bet because I don't have the time that I think is necessary to make the diet bet worth it with, you know, the amount of money that I could make. It doesn't, I don't feel comfortable with it, you know? But yeah, that's a good point. And, you know, again, I actually, this was a while ago. I remember I did a poll on one of my Instagram stories where I said, like, what do you think about diet bet? Do you like him? Do you not like him? And it was like split right down the middle, 50-50.
Yeah.
And so people have their own thoughts about him. But again, like, when I made the video, I wasn't trying to be negative. It was more just trying to share the truth about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
But the problem is it followed. I mean, it was preceded by negative.
it was
negative,
yeah, it
negative.
was preceded by
So now your mindset was like, if you were like, here's a story of this person who lost 15 pounds doing this. Here's a story of this person who just started CrossFit. Here's a story of this person who finally got their first pull up. And then there's diet bets.
Yeah.
Your mindset probably would have been way different going into
100%.
that versus like skinny tea, this person, that person. Oh, and by the way, diet. Like, you know, like, and that again goes to show like your every thought, like every word, it's like you're paving a path. Like you are literally shoveling a path to where when something happens, that is where your mind goes. Like that is the rut that you now go in. And you can shovel a negative path where you automatically blame everyone else except for yourself. You blame the situation, you blame whatever. Or you can go to another path, which is just like, okay, positive, or what's the best case scenario, or what's the win-win, or here's what I can do about it. You know, and it's just habit building. It's just being self-aware. Like you are more defined by your reactions than your actions. Like you can absolutely go and say like, I'm going to go feed 50 homeless people. That's a good action. But if someone is like, man, I'm really struggling, I need some help, and you can't even, I'm not saying monetarily, but if you have no compassion for them, or you're just like, don't talk to me, or whatever, like, that's a reaction. And that shows way more about your character. And so those reactions are just built through thoughts and actions and continually doing them over and over again until they become habits.
Yeah. And like in the way I think about it is like I wasn't trying to call anybody out. So I think that if you feel like I was being overly mean to you, then it's probably saying more about where you are and how you feel about it, right? Because if you're genuinely like, no, I think diet bet's great and I completely 100% agree with what we're doing and I feel great about that I'm making money off of this and I'm making a living off of this, then it literally I don't think it would have bothered you. And like the way I think about it, right? When we make shirts and stuff like that, if we make money off of that, I won't feel bad about that at all. I'll feel great. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah. Like I'm really proud of the work we put in to make that happen. And there's no hard feelings to me at all. Like I think the shirts are good shirts, you know what I mean? Like whatever. But like when it comes to like clothing, it's not the same connotation because it's like, you know, you spent money on clothes, you got the clothes, transaction done.
Yeah.
So when it's stuff like that, it's just a little bit different. And again, like I have no ill will towards anybody that does them. It's just I was just trying to explain, you know, what happens, like how they work. But it's funny that this is completely switching gears. But when you talked about like your reaction is a lot more powerful than the action that actually happened.
Yeah.
I have a really embarrassing story.
Oh, awesome. Is it of me?
No, it's of
Oh,
me.
awesome.
No,
Great.
it's of me.
No, I can't wait for this. Good.
So this past week, I think it was the workout here on Friday. This is embarrassing, but it was like here at CrossFit Darkside we have it's called Friday Die Day, which is sounds terrible, and it is. But the workouts on Fridays are usually really long. They're usually 30, 45 minutes, you know, and there's a bunch of different parts in them. And this last Friday's workout was a lot of stuff. It had like heavy thrusters, a lot of stuff, running, a bunch of stuff, and then it ended with 10 bar muscle-ups. And for me, bar muscle-ups have, this is so random that I don't know why I thought of that about this, but 10 bar muscle-ups for me, have been something that I've struggled with. I got them, the first time I ever got a bar muscle-up was in the Open of 2017. I think it was 17.2 that had bar muscle-ups in it.
And then next time you got one.
Yeah, I couldn't do it again for 9 months. So that's always kind of in the back of my head, like with muscle-ups, I just get nervous when I see them in a workout. And full disclosure, I have not been practicing them. I just kind of, whenever they're in a workout, I'll do them. That's about it. And so I got to the muscle-ups, and I got the first two unbroken, right? I was able to string them. And then I could not do another muscle-up. I tried. I probably failed 7 times, but there was still I got through the workout really quick. There was a 30-minute time cap, and I got to the muscle ups at 19 minutes, right? So I had 10 minutes, 11 minutes to do them.
And so you're thinking, I'm gonna crush.
Yeah,
this.
I'm like, even if this takes me 5 minutes,
yeah,
right? Like I'm good. I was fine with that, but I could not do another one, and I got so unbelievably mad. After I still had 7 minutes on the clock to do them. I took my hand grips off. I sat in the corner, and I was mad, and I just sat there, pissed off. Like I am angry.
Yeah.
And that I am so embarrassed right now to say that that's something that I did, because it is incredibly embarrassing. Like, it was a bad day for me because, again, all of the other things that led up to that, you know, like I'm always in my head when muscle ups come up. I was doing really, let's be real, right? Ego was in it. I was crushing everybody else.
Yeah.
I was destroying all the times. I was like, I'm going to kill this workout. And these muscle ups aren't going to get me down. And they did.
Yeah.
And so 7 minutes on the clock, I walked outside and I just stared and I was like mad. When I get mad, I get like teary eyed. So I had like tears in my eyes, just like super pissed. And then I ended up being able to turn it around, and before I left the gym, I was like, I didn't do any more muscle-ups, but I was able to not be such a, big old crybaby. But switching that into the past couple days, the past 3 or 4 times I've been in the gym, I've just told myself, okay, that happened, so what are you going to do about it now?
Yeah.
And so now I'm just trying to do muscle-ups every once in a while. I'm not trying to destroy my hands, but if I have extra time or I feel like my hands feel okay, I'm just going to practice muscle-ups. Because then at least I can't, because what was going through my head when I was failing was like, this is your fault. You're the one that hasn't been doing them. This is your bad. And so I've just been trying to practice them, and so I can't use that. I can't have that as an excuse or have that in the back of my head. It's like, no, you've been working on them, so hopefully they're better. Yeah. And so that's, I know it was random, but it was my reaction to it was so bad. And it's frustrating because I never want people, and I'm not like that, and I don't want people to see me act like that because it's embarrassing. Yeah. And so I would have been much more proud if, I would have just tried for the 7 minutes, even if I couldn't get another one. At least I tried, and I wasn't a big old baby crying in the corner, So that was definitely, this week was pretty embarrassing. That was not fun. That was not fun at all.
Yeah, I have definitely been there. We're the same in that area. I think, working out, so I don't know if anyone knows this, but I've been doing Misfit programming. Just kidding. I talk about it all the time, everywhere. I tag it in literally everything I do. Where I got the shirt and I wear it all the time. So the nice thing about it is the fact that I just get to know that training is training. I'm not competing against anyone. The only other people in the gym who are doing it, there's 2 or 3 other people, and it's I'm not trying to beat them. I'm just trying to have a good workout myself, and being able to bring that mindset in, has been so, okay, that was not good for me. Good thing I'm not competing against anyone, today was one where it was, for 90 seconds, you had to do power cleans at 90%. And in my head, I was and it was and then you rest 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then you did it 4 times. And in my head, for some reason, I'm 5-6. 5-6 power cleans.
You have no idea.
No, 225 pounds, and I'm just 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, that workout's going to be different than I thought it was. Next round, 3. Yep, pretty much. I'm like, let me try to at least beat that. And then I got 4 and 4. But it was just like, still like, if I was like thinking everyone else got to be able to, like that would like literally like panic would set in, and which it really does, like panic. And then I've also been focusing on, like, if my brain was the coach. You know how, like, in a gym, the coach always yells stuff out, 3 more minutes, or pop your hips, or whatever they yell.
Pop, lock, and drop it.
Yeah. If my thoughts were the coach, so that's what was being yelled, man, that is, like, changed the game for me.
Really?
Because now I'm imagining across the gym them being like, or, whatever.
Stop sucking.
Yeah, or like, yeah, like, you can't do this. Like, you're not strong enough. Like, if the coach was yelling that, like, everyone would be like, get out.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's what you thought. And I was like, what kind of coach is that?
No, that's what my dialogue says.
Yeah, normally, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my inner dialogue says. So if that dialogue was the coach, that's what they would say. You're not good enough. Your form is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
What they should be saying, try to make that what the coach would say, like, let that reflect in your mind. Focus on form. That's different than your form is terrible. You're not strong enough. It's different than, like, pick up the weight. Like, go for it. Like, very different, like, dialogues. And, like, thinking if my thoughts were being yelled, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's
powerful, man. Like, your inner dialogue is so much more important than, like, almost anything else.
Absolutely.
Especially in, like, a middle of a workout like that, because it's...
I'm not gonna lie, I cuss at the barbell all the time.
You piece of
I do. I'm not a cusser. Like, I'm not, I never really have been. Don't even like it when it's in movies and stuff, But at the barbell, I'm like, you little... I'm gonna lift this fucking weight. Literally, like, I'm, like, straight up just, like, cussing at the bar. And it's the only thing in my life that I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it, like, works. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry. Inner dialogue, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's, like, with anything in life. Like, if you're always telling yourself, like, you're not going to be able to, bring it to losing weight. Like, I'm not going to be able to lose weight because I'm lazy, or I don't understand how to... I don't understand nutrition, or all of that stuff. Like, then, yeah. Like, you can't, your body moves from the inside out, I think. You know what I mean? 100%. So, like, if you're telling yourself, I can't do it, and I mean, it's been said a million times, right? But you've already failed. Mm-hmm. You've already failed. Same thing, like, when you walk up to a heavy barbell, if you're like, whoa, this is not going to happen. Yeah. Then, yeah, that squat's going to crush you, and you're not going to complete the rep. But if you're instead John, you're like, I'm going to get this piece of...
Literally, like, yeah. And it works.
Mm-hmm.
I've squatted 1,000 pounds.
You did?
Yeah, just by believing that.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, and then I woke up. No,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, sorry, that was so dumb.
Good joke, bro.
Yeah, thanks. So,
that's what people come to the podcast for.
Yep. And my hats.
Yeah.
So, this applies to everything, though. Wow, brain fart right there. Mm-hmm. This applies, like, your inner dialogue. Like, if you're... Also, like, if your boss walks up to you, and your boss actually does say, like, you suck, get a new pod, go somewhere else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
get a new boss.
But if your dialogue at work is like, I'm not good enough, or if your dialogue going towards a diet is, I'm going to fail, just imagine your thoughts as another person. Like, and it's crazy because then you start, like, you wouldn't allow someone to talk to you that way. Yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah. I would not allow someone to talk like that in my life. I'd be like, oh, you're gone. Solid, you are gone. Like, so if you think of your thoughts as someone else, it's like, nope, you're out. This positive one, or like, and I'm not saying positivity in the sense that you're ignoring everything. Like, I'm not saying delusion.
Mm-hmm. Like delusional positivity.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, like, someone who believes in you.
Yeah, I mean, just, you don't need to be your own. You don't need to be your bully. You don't need to bully yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, that's actually, right now I'm reading Obstacle is the Way, which I really like. And I'm, like, sticking to my New Year's resolution. Super proud of myself. But it talks a lot about literally that, right? The obstacle is the way. So instead of seeing things that are in your way as, like, these insurmountable tasks that are getting in your way of completing what you need to do, see those things that are in your way as a way to learn more about yourself, or like literally think of it any other way than just being like, this is a terrible thing and it's in my way. Like, how can I learn from this obstacle, right? And you kind of talked about your boss, but like if your boss is mean, one, you can leave. So that is a choice that you can have, right? That obstacle, okay, I left. Or how can I make it to where he has nothing to say to me? Or you know what I mean? Like, how can I learn and be a better person and literally get so good that he has nothing negative to say?
Yeah.
Or anything he says, I know is like, holds no water because I know that I put in the work.
Yeah.
And so, and it goes with anything, right? When it comes to losing weight, instead of thinking, oh, I have to lose 100 pounds, it's like, okay, I'm going to lose 100 pounds and I'm going to learn a lot about myself and I'm going to learn a lot about nutrition and I'm going to be better because of that. And so it's such a powerful way to look at things, you know. It goes back to, you know, like stoicism is a huge thing that they talk about in the book. Ryan Holiday, who's the author, is like, you know, he's huge into that stuff.
Yeah.
And so one of the main like tenets of stoicism, if you want to call it that, is focusing on what you can control versus what you can't. And most of the stuff in that happens to us, we cannot control. And then the things that we can control are how we react to things, our thoughts, our feelings about things. Because, you know, in the book they say nothing good or bad happens to you. Things just happen to you.
Things happen.
And then you decide if it's good or bad. And so obviously that all of this stuff is easier said than done. And he says that a lot, right? It's simple, but it's not easy.
Yep.
So it's like a simple thing. Like, yeah, things happen. Are they good or are they bad? You decide. But if like you get in a car accident, it's hard to be like, that's a good thing. Like, I'm going to learn how my insurance works or whatever it might be that you're, you know, like whatever it is that you have, like, however you're able to flip that into like, this is not, I can't sit here and like dwell in my sorrow. Like, how can I learn from this and make this a better thing? So that's one of the huge things in stoicism is what can you control? And a lot of times it's just how you feel about things, your thoughts that are going on in your head, which for me is 100% the hardest part, because I can go from, I mean, we talked about that, you know, that poster right over there, you know, peaks, valleys, and they're both important, right? So like when I'm in those valleys, when I'm in those negative spots, it's like hard for me because all I can think about is I just want to get out of here. Like, I just want to be done with this. So instead of thinking like that, I need to be able to be like, okay, I'm here. Let's explore this valley.
Yeah.
Why am I here? What brought me here, and what's going on? Why am I feeling like this? Why is it that when I'm in this, you know, state of mind, all I can do is talk about how much I hate myself, or how much I hate, you know, this situation, or how stupid I am, or not smart I am, or, you know, how much I hate my body, or whatever it might be. When I'm in that valley, I need to get better at exploring those parts of myself. So yeah, with Stoic, like I'm really, really liking that book, and it kind of goes hand in hand with what you were just saying.
Yeah, and it's uncomfortable to explore your not pleasant sides, right? Like, that's scary because you feel like that is a truer side of you. You know, you almost feel like that's the real me, and I'm hiding that from everyone. And it's
like subconsciously you feel like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's funny that you say that, because I have two sides. It's like when I'm like right now I feel fine. When I'm not feeling like that, I'm like, that is not me. That is, I don't know who that is. I don't know why that person's like that. It literally feels like a different person, right? But when I'm in there, it does feel like this is who I am.
Yeah.
And this is like, I'm terrible. I'm whatever it is, you know? And so like, I don't know if I have some sort of like mental thing, but like,
I don't know what you're talking about. That is, you need to get that checked. No. That 100%, like, that's what it is. And we're almost afraid of like that person being who we really are. And it's just like, it's someone It sounded weird, but it's just someone you have to explore. It's someone you have to learn. You know,
I'm down to explore someone.
Their body is a wonderland. You know, like, but it is like, if you just ignore that, if you ignore those feelings, if you ignore those emotions or whatever, like, they're not gonna get better.
Yeah, 100%.
They're not.
It doesn't work like that.
So dig deep. You know, plant your feet, put some chalk on your hands, yell and curse at at that barbell.
Or your boss. I don't know. You might get fired.
Yeah. Chalk your hands and then just start yelling at him. Either you'll get fired or sent to an insane asylum.
Yeah, one of the two.
Both have happened to me.
Yeah, it was when he was at the CrossFit Games trying to get
Catcher
David's number.
Sam, I don't want her number, okay? Stop.
Yeah,
I can
okay.
already hear you texting me.
Whatever you say, bro.
Man, yeah. That was I
Yeah?
think that was a good episode, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think you don't have anything else you want to say?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who believed in me that I'd make it to the CrossFit Games. I will not let you down.
Yeah, you will. You 100% are going to let everyone that listens to this podcast down.
For the first time ever, we have decided to give opponent's points to someone else because he did so bad.
He literally has negative points now.
He has, if he makes it to the games next year, he's starting at a deficit.
He has negative 20 points to start the 2020 season.
And now he's made eye contact with Matt Frazier and pointed his fingers, gesturing that he's going down.
We think he's snapped. He's definitely snapped now, and Matt Frazier slapped him in the face.
Yeah. However, with how crazy he is still less mild than Sam Dancer. Sam Dancer has found a new best friend. His name is Jean-Claude.
Oh man! All right, bro. Yeah, I'm stoked with that episode. There's nothing. I wrote some notes down, but I think we're good with that.
Yeah, I just think that we suck at asking people to do reviews on iTunes.
Yeah.
Dang it, man! You guys have been leaving some really nice comments. Like they really do feel heartfelt, and we really appreciate them. Thank you so much. If you have not reviewed our podcast, please feel free to go to the iTunes store and give it 5 stars.
You know, I want to do a new thing. So you just keep talking, and I'm gonna try and figure it out. So just you keep talking, and I'm gonna do a thing.
Okay, so I got an embarrassing story about John David. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, great!
I don't actually have one.
Yeah, because I'm not embarrassing. I'm great.
But
always.
A lot of people are just saying that they really enjoy the authenticity. So we appreciate that. A lot of people on the last episode said they enjoyed Sam, and so Sam, can I have your number? You still haven't given it to me?
Can I have it? Can I
have it? But honestly, like 100%, I really appreciate just your words. We do read them. I've actually got like a app I'm attached to that lets me know when you guys review it, so I get to read them. So in your review, if you say, "Hi, Jean," I'll know that you did it, so it'll be super cool.
Cool. So I'm gonna read a review from one of you guys. So if you guys want to hear a review on the podcast, we're gonna do this. This is on the fly. We did not talk about this before.
No.
So this is something we're gonna do to end every podcast. All right. We're remembering this.
To end them, or should we start them?
Or we'll figure that out.
Okay.
But this is happening in every podcast, okay? So shout out to, I shouldn't have chose this one, CKJT1236. 5 stars, shout out.
Sakiji.
Oh, of course, yes. I follow both John and John on YouTube and other socials for their fitness journeys, and I just love both of them. Very inspirational, funny, educational. I've been waiting for a podcast from these two cool dudes for a while now, and I am pumped up that they started the Work for Change podcast. Thanks, guys.
We are pumped as well.
Yeah.
We actually went and we did a whole bunch of bicep curls
before this. Yep, that's why we're sweating.
We are pumped, like quite literally. It is actually uncomfortable. My legs are busting out of my pants because I did 100 squats.
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
He's lying.
I just have fat legs.
Also, you guys, shirts are happening. It's coming soon. So just be on the lookout.
If you made it this far into the podcast, you get to know that we're making shirts, and they're so
sweet.
They're so soon.
They're so soon, and they're super sweet. So they're also very limited, and I mean that when I say that, like for real, very limited.
Like 6 sizes is more than we have. Like 6 shirts per size is more than we have.
Yeah.
It's limited.
So we have some sizes only have 2, right? So if you we're going to be announcing them on the podcast first. So like people that listen to the podcast, we want you to have them before I post them on any other social media. So just make sure you stay tuned next week or the week after, but it will be very soon. So I just wanted to say that because I'm stoked about it. And
it's the Work for Change logo.
Yep.
On men, it's on a
black
cotton
shirt.
poly, black canvas,
something like that.
Comfortable, really comfortable shirt. And then on women, it is on like a racerback tank. With like a vintage black grayish color.
So be on the lookout. That is happening. But so with that said, we appreciate you guys listening to episode 11 right, of the Work for Change podcast, and we had a lot of fun. We'll definitely.
We should do this again.
We should do this again sometime.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna have more interviews and stuff like that. But we just wanted to have a broadcast again.
Broadcast.
I really enjoy.
I do
just
enjoy
being
them.
us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop rambling.
Goodbye.
See you guys later.